Over the past 4 years, I've helped e-commerce brands generate over $100 million through email marketing. And in this video, I'm breaking down everything I've learned about what actually makes email marketing work, all in just 10 minutes. So you don't waste your time on hiring contractors that are a waste of money, employees that don't do the job right, or your own valuable time that could be spent on other parts of the business. Instead, I'll walk you through deliverability, automation flows, and the systems that consistently drive results so you can build a highly engaged list that turns into real revenue. Now, the first piece of advice I want to share is protecting your inbox placement. Most people skip this, honestly, but the one thing we don't want is your emails landing in the spam folder or promotions, okay? We want it in the primary inbox. We want to protect your deliverability. You can have the best offer in the world, but none of that matters when no one sees it. When email lands in inbox, and if it does, that directly determines how much revenue you actually make. It lands in the inbox, people click on it, they see and buy your product, you make money. With that in mind, there are plenty of tricks and tools you can use, but just follow these 4 things in mind when considering how to protect your inbox placement. It's very important you set up a branded sending domain. If you're going to ensure proper inbox placement, you need to do this. It's very simple. It just shows Klaviyo and Google, whatever domain you operate on, that your domain is authorized to send emails. Easy and big lift. I'll drop the link in the YouTube description. The second thing is your sending cadence. I would encourage you to start slow. Look at this brand. They are sending a bunch of emails every month. They're doing millions a month. We have emails sent almost every single day of November so far, and they're still producing money, and open rates, click rates, everything is pretty healthy. If you are not at this level where you are doing millions a month, I don't recommend doing this. Start slow. Do 1 campaign a week. Set up 3 core flows: welcome, ban and checkout, and post-purchase. Start slow, then ramp up your sending by monitoring your open and click rates. Next thing you should be doing is automating your email health and deliverability, meaning set up a sunset flow, automatically suppress or remove profiles from your active sending list. It also improves your billing pricing, and it's very important for maintenance. You're not going to go every month. You might be too lazy to just look into your profiles, make a segment of the unengaged, suppress them every single month. You can do this automatically with the sunset flow. I will also send a link in the description in order to show you how to set this up. All right, lastly, let's set up some in general guardrails for how we think about email deliverability, health, and performance. In general, if you can achieve and measure against an open rate of over 50% on campaigns, if you can achieve a click rate, for me personally, anything over 0.1% is amazing. Bounce rates, if you can get under 0.7%, that's great. Unsubscribe rates, this is kind of loose, especially when there's sales, you're blasting more, but less than 0.3% would be great. And then a spam complaint rate, as minimal as possible. At the maximum, less than 0.03%, but you'd want probably 0.01%. So those are loose guidelines, and that's like a North Star if you're thinking of actual metrics and KPIs to tie performance to on email inbox placement deliverability. That's it. All right, the next thing I want you to focus on is building an engaged list. You might think your list is growing, but in reality, it could just be getting bigger without actually becoming more valuable. What you really need is an engaged list. There are groups of people that you want to target because they are the ones that actually care, click, convert. They're not just random names sitting in a database. Without an engaged list, you are collecting subscribers and contacts that never convert, and you're just leaving tens of thousands of dollars on the table by not optimizing your pop-up. So how do we actually build a list that engages and compounds in value? That's by setting up a perfect pop-up to collect subscribers and build that email list. Build an engaged email list, more importantly. We need the right offer and the right pop-up setup. Let's break it down. So you can see that the design of this pop-up is incredible because we use Alia, a third-party pop-up app. They design the pop-up for you, and it looks way better than Klaviyo, and it shows to more people just because it's just newer, updated tech and software, and Klaviyo is a bit outdated on their JavaScript coding. Anyway, why does this look so good? We have a offer, we have design, and we have a micro commitment. What is the offer? A mystery discount. It draws people in. What is the design? The design is using Alia. It's using the brand guidelines, and it looks incredible. What is the micro commitment or gamification at play? Look at the question. What brings you here today? Deeper conversations, strengthening bonds, try something new, gift shopping, or you can just say no thanks, okay? This is a CRO mechanism. This is consumer psychology at play. People are just more likely to enter and opt in if you ask them a question and incite curiosity. Very simple. Set up the pop-up using those 3 components. You you'll most likely get maybe 6% opt-in rates. You know, the triggering behavior, I'm less focused on that. I'm more focused on the bigger levers to increasing your engaged list. And that's setting up a pop-up that looks similar to this with these types of components of just high converting mechanisms, right? So again, I want you to aim for at least a 6% submit rate on your pop-up. I feel like 1 to 3% is too low. Some people think 3% is good. 12, 15, 20, 30% is usually the case for smaller brands, potentially if it's very dialed in. Obviously, use the correct, reCAPTCHA, SMS compliance mechanisms. They're really easy to look up just to ensure that you're in compliance with standards. And then avoid cluttering with extra footer or product page forms. They usually lower consent quality and hurt engagement. Very simply, that is how you build an engaged list. It's by having an incredible pop-up. Now, instead of sitting on a list full of leads that never buy, you'll have something that actually drives results. A list that converts, earns, and keeps generating money through your email marketing. This is some of the exact systems that we use to scale some of the most advanced email funnels out there. Our work drives real retention for e-commerce brands instead of just wasting their time chasing short-term value and spamming people, right? Our strategies have generated over $100 million for D2C brands. We can do the same thing for you. If you're ready to take your email marketing to the next level, book a call in the link below. All right, these are the 80-20 core flows that drive lifecycle revenue. Most of your money won't come from random blasts or clever subject lines. It'll come from a few key automations that quietly work behind the scenes, converting customers while you sleep. These flows are the heartbeat of your email system. When they're built right, they can outperform your campaigns 10 to 1. It should be 50-50, should be an even split, but depending on the business model, the type of brand you have, flows can be a significant revenue driver, way more outsized than what your campaigns will ever produce. Okay, let me break it down, just 3 core flows that you will need to drive an 80-20 results for your business. All right, first is your welcome email. When someone enters the email into a pop-up, they'll receive this flow. The goal is to nurture new email subscribers into first-time buyers by building trust and showcasing the brand's value. I'm gonna kind of scroll through this so you can just screenshot it because it's a lot to go over, but I have your cadence here, I have your timing, you can add SMS, you're addressing objections, you have a discount upgrade potentially. I'd use a unique offer discount code for that, but I said 10 minutes or less. Okay, so I wanna hold myself to it. So that's the welcome flow. The next flow I would recommend is a checkout abandon. Checkout abandon just aims to recover lost sales by re-engaging customers who've added your product to checkout, but they never converted. There's a trigger, there's a delay. Here's the exact flow, individual flow message goal, more timing delays. Guys, I'm giving you literally gold. These are processes that we patented and systems we input for clients that just crush through a lot of time, effort spent testing. Let's do, here we go, just your post-purchase flow. A multi-product post-purchase flow. This is a bit more advanced to be honest, but whatever. You guys can have this free game. Post-purchase flow, thank you. And then it kind of triggers based off of, the type of product that you have, and it filters and excludes it. Copy that, and you guys should be well on your way to having a very high converting and really simple setup for your flows. The next thing we want to focus on is segmentation that converts. It's the difference between just blasting emails to everyone and sending the right message to the right people at the right time, which is something honestly most marketers completely overlook. Think about it this way. Most brands blast the same email to everyone and then they wonder why their engagement drops. Segmentation is where the real leverage is. It's what separates brands that just send emails from brands that print money every email they send. When you actually learn how to send the right message to the right people, when you are naturally reflecting the customer journey and speaking to them at the stage that they're at correctly, they gain trust. They recognize that. They love it because it's like speaking to them, like truly. It's just speaking to true human nature, which people respect and like. So it's like if you talk to someone you ghosted for 3 months and then you hit them up randomly. You wouldn't talk to that person the same as someone you talk to every day. Why would you do that with email? Poor segmentation equals subscriber fatigue equals declining clicks. If you are hitting everyone, you're not hitting the right people. So after 4 years of testing every type of audience group, these are the segments I've personally found that work best to separate your list so that every email feels personal, relevant, and actually drives real results. 99% of email marketers, of brand owners, should just use this segment. It encapsulates literally everybody in your list that wants to buy from you and hear from you. Open email in the last 30 days. Click email in the last 30 days. Order product at least once in the last 30 days, especially for recurring purchase brands, for consumable brands that are more privy to purchasing from you often, an active customer. Obviously, they're subscribed to your email list. This is who you're mean by apparently communicating with. Now, if you're sub 10,000 profiles, I'd recommend, possibly sending to everyone. It's a small list relatively. After 10,000, maybe you want to segment segment to 30 day. If you start growing rapidly, you have a big email list, you're not going to get much extra juice besides this list. You can go to 90 and you'll see you can tab to conversions by segment on campaigns for your campaigns you're sending out. And you'll see that the majority of opening clicks come from 30. A non-significant portion of extra people in your list that are inside 90 that are beyond 30 will click open purchase from you. I love the VIP segment as well. The VIP segment is dependent on how you would define it for your personal brand. In the case of this brand, they have like 300K active profiles, 14 purchases over all time. That put us in the top 2,000 customers. So that's what, the top 0.3% of customers then? If that's 2,000 customers that have 300K profiles, this is a VIP, a true VIP definition. VIP is great to send extra offers, sales, extra cool emails to. You can do an unengaged flow too, which is just people who open and collect the last 90 days but haven't purchased. I would say just stick to your bread and butter with the 30 days and you should be pretty good. All right, let's talk about campaigns. There are 3 different types of campaigns that I want you to test: founder letter, product highlight, and social proof. These in general styles seem to perform for a majority of brands. Now, there are many different campaign styles that are different and should perform differently depending on the type of brand you have and the sophistication stage of your brand, meaning what level of awareness do they have? Are they problem or solution focused? Either way, let's run through these really quick so you get an idea of what I mean by founder letter. Pick a problem that you're solving and present them the solution via your product. Bridge that gap. Johnny here from Overload. Great supplement is all about results, from how you perform to how it makes you feel. Most people think earning is about hydration, but it's actually more than that. You need creatine. You need that for enhanced recovery. You need that for enhanced endurance, all that good stuff. I want to experience yourself. Boom, here's our product. That's a founder letter. Pick an angle, dive deep into a problem, present it as a solution, your product, and there's your founder letter. Think of all the problems you have, present them with your product as a solution. Product highlight, very simple. What are the benefits they're getting? How else can you break it down? Here's an infographic. Here's the products itself. Simple. Product highlight. Highlight the product, use design if you can, highlight the benefits, make it simple, clear, and easy. Social proof. So simple. Take any review and just add it to a campaign. Don't take it from us. Those are the 3 styles I see perform very exceptionally well for most brands. The next section I want to talk about is like a smart A/B testing framework. Pick one clear monthly goal, like increasing revenue per recipient. For small lists, test the pop-up offer, 10% off, giveaway, credit, raffle, whatever. Test subject lines of the most important emails, your post-purchase welcome, abandon checkout, and your campaigns. Larger lists, test your offer framing, your flow timing, recovery strategies. I think offer framing would probably be the most important. So like an example month would be across your retention channel. Does 10% off work better than $10 off or $50 off? You can test that on your last chance emails, on your sale emails, on your pop-up offer. I like that idea. You can test also timing. I think that can be a big deal too. 1 day versus 20 minutes for abandon checkout can make a big difference. Think in terms of like high leverage, big goals, big tests, testing urgency, testing like big incentive type of offers, communication styles, offer styles, stuff like that. I even think plain text versus design could be considered like a goal. Would instituting more plain text emails into your strategy result in a lift in RPR? I would say the rules would be that, it must lift RPR by at least 10%, so something like that. Once your campaigns and testing are aligned, you'll see predictable growth without burning your audience. The next part about understanding how often you should actually send emails, and it's something most people get completely wrong. Let's break this down. Frequency and fatigue are something that is probably the most important part about email retention. Everything we talked about in this video is about focusing on what actually works in like as little time as possible, even though I think we've gone a little bit longer, but it's okay. So I want you to send more emails, and that does not automatically mean you will make more sales. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes people make, because it usually leads to fatigue, is unsubscribes and lower engagement instead of more revenue. I think sending more emails can sometimes be like a giant mistake because of that. Control how much you send instead of spamming people. Cap at 3 campaigns per week. Small brands, 1 per week. You can go up to an email every day if you segment properly, if you send emails that are valuable, you send sale emails, product launches, all that stuff, and if you're a big enough brand. Try not to send more than 1 email per person per day, even during promotions. There's a time and place for last chance emails, 6 hours before sale ends, maybe on Black Friday, but otherwise don't do it. Thirdly, tag every campaign and double down the perform best. like founder letters, agitating the problem, product benefits, highlights. There's so many different types of campaign types. I could keep going down the lines. If your numbers start slipping, click rate drops below 0.2%, unsubscribe rise above 0.5%, spam creeps past 0.8%, it's time to slow down. Drop back to 1 cent per week. Drop back the amount of campaigns you're sending. Reduce or minimize your segment size. Refresh your creative. Try new designs. Resegment your list. Build engagement before scaling again. So yeah, focusing on the metrics that actually matter. Many brands get caught up in open rates and vanity numbers, but the real indicator of performance is revenue per recipient. That shows how much value email is creating. There are only a few email metrics that you need to track weekly. RPR, orders per recipient, unique click rate, spam, unsubscribe, and hard bounce rates. You can find all these in the Klaviyo dashboard. Go to the deliverability dashboard and you'll be able to see all this. Monitor your list health. Look at net list growth. Look at how many people are engaged in your list over 30 days. When you manage fatigue and focus on the right metrics, your email channel will literally transform from inconsistent income to a predictable revenue engine. I tell my clients, let's plan out campaigns over 30 days, because if we do and we send the right types of campaigns, you have a healthy email list, that is literally predictable revenue for that channel and for your brand. And that's priceless when you can predict it. Even if you only apply a fraction of what I share in this video, I think you'll start turning your emails into a real sales driver, and instead of just another reminder in someone's inbox. If you want to go deeper and build this system for your own brand, check the link in the description below, book a call, and work with me directly. We've helped brands go from landing in spam to generating 6 and 7 figures through optimized email strategy. Thanks for watching.